Right now, Princess Leonor of Asturias breaks royal tradition at wedding live in Copenhagen. Right now, all eyes are on Copenhagen. The bells are ringing, cameras flashing, and the world is witnessing history unfold, not because a princess is getting married, but because she's doing the unthinkable. Princess Leonor of Asturias, heir to the Spanish throne, has just broken royal tradition, live, in front of millions. For centuries, Spanish royalty followed the same sacred rules, ceremony, symbolism, and silence. But today, that pattern shattered. Because in the middle of her wedding to Prince Christian of Denmark, Leonor made a decision that no Spanish royal bride has ever dared to make. Let's start where it all began, the moment she stepped out of the royal carriage. The crowd gasped. The princess everyone expected to appear in a Spanish-designed royal gown, wearing an ancestral tiara passed down through generations, did something different. Instead of a traditional mantilla veil or the Bourbon lace used by queens before her, Leonor walked into the cathedral wearing a simple, modern gown designed by a young, independent Spanish designer. No royal insignia, no heavy embroidery, no gold thread, just elegance, simplicity, and a clear message: I am my own voice. The chapel fell silent, and then the applause erupted. Even Queen Letizia, her mother, was visibly moved. It wasn't a rejection of tradition, it was a redefinition. The scene inside Christiansborg Palace Chapel was like something out of a film, an extraordinary blend of two cultures, two histories, and two hearts. Spanish hymns intertwined with Danish melodies, creating a harmony that mirrored the very essence of this union. Yet, beneath the music, one could sense that something deeper was happening. Leonor wasn't just becoming a bride. She was becoming the future of the Spanish monarchy, on her own terms. Moments before the ceremony began, King Felipe was seen whispering something to his daughter. Royal lip readers believe he said, "Hazlo a tu manera, do it your way." And that's exactly what she did. When the priest called for the traditional royal vow, the entire hall expected the familiar words, passed down through royal weddings for centuries. But instead, Leonor took a deep breath, looked into Christian's eyes, and spoke in both Spanish and Danish, a gesture that had never been done in royal history. Hoy, no solo mi caso contigo, she began softly, mi uno a ti en alma y en propósito. Then in Danish, Jeg vielger dig, ika kun som prins, men som min partner I alt. Her voice trembled slightly, but her words carried through the chapel like lightning, intimate, emotional, and undeniably modern. The reaction was immediate. The crowd, royals, diplomats, journalists, sat stunned. Even Queen Margrethe of Denmark nodded with pride. The archbishop paused, taken aback by the spontaneous addition. It was unscripted, heartfelt, and absolutely Leonor. But the breaking of tradition didn't stop there. When the moment came to exchange rings, Leonor pulled a surprise no one expected. In every Spanish royal wedding, the rings are symbols of heritage, crafted from Spanish gold, engraved with a royal seal. But Leonor's ring was different. It was crafted from recycled gold sourced from both Spain and Denmark, fused into one, symbolizing not power or status, but equality and unity. In that small circle of metal, the princess sent a powerful message: this marriage is not about monarchy, it's about partnership. Outside, crowds of Spaniards and Danes waved flags together. Many wept as the giant screens broadcast the moment across both nations. She's not just marrying a prince, one reporter said live on TV. She's rewriting royal destiny. And in many ways, she is. The Spanish monarchy has always balanced between tradition and transformation. King Felipe's reign focused on restoring trust and transparency, while Queen Letizia modernized the image of royalty through empathy and service. But today, their daughter has taken it further. Leonor's actions signal a shift, a monarchy ready for the next generation, built not on distance but connection. The royal commentators back in Madrid call it the Leonor era. A time when the crown is not just worn, it's earned through authenticity. As the ceremony continued, Leonor and Christian's vows were more than romantic. They were revolutionary. While most royal couples promise duty to crown and country, these two spoke of shared goals, sustainability, service, and the unity of Europe. We are born into history, Christian said, but we choose how it continues. The audience rose to their feet in applause, something that has never happened mid-ceremony in royal tradition. Cameras caught Queen Letizia wiping away tears, her usually composed demeanor giving way to emotion. King Felipe nodded, his expression a mix of pride and realization. The monarchy he built was now in the hands of someone ready to take it further. After the ceremony, the newlyweds exited the chapel to a storm of cheers. And once again, Leonor did something unexpected. She stopped halfway down the aisle, turned, and bowed briefly toward her parents. Then, looking up at the crowd, she waved not with a rehearsed royal gesture, but with an open smile, genuine and unfiltered. The royal commentators described it perfectly. It was the bow of gratitude, not obligation. The reception that followed continued the theme of unity and reform. Gone were the days of exclusive royal banquets filled with politicians and nobles. Instead, Leonor and Christian invited everyday citizens from Spain and Denmark, soldiers, students, doctors, farmers, people who had contributed to their communities. Their message was clear: the crown must serve, not rule. In a heartfelt toast, Leonor stood and spoke to her guests. For centuries, our families have carried crowns of gold, she said. But the crown I wear today is built from the trust of my people. And that is worth more than any jewel. Her words trended globally within minutes. #Leonor Legacy and #Royal Reform flooded social media as millions shared clips of her speech. In Spain, news outlets called it a rebirth of the crown. But not everyone was ready for such change. Some royal traditionalists criticized her choices, saying she had diluted the royal image. Yet even they couldn't ignore the impact. For the first time in decades, young Spaniards were openly expressing admiration for their future queen. At the evening ball, Leonor made one final, breathtaking statement. As the orchestra began to play the first dance, instead of the expected royal waltz, she and Christian chose a Spanish-Danish fusion melody, slow, soulful, symbolic. It wasn't about performance. It was about meaning. As they danced under golden light, surrounded by family and history, it became clear, this wasn't rebellion. It was renewal. And that is what makes this moment historic. Because right now, the heir to Spain's throne has proven that tradition and progress can coexist, that the old can live beautifully alongside the new. Leonor didn't reject her heritage. She honored it in the most powerful way possible, by evolving it. In doing so, she gave Spain something far more valuable than a royal wedding. She gave them hope. Hope that the next chapter of their monarchy will be one defined not by rules, but by heart. Not by image, but by integrity. Not by the past, but by the courage to shape the future. As the celebrations continue late into the Copenhagen night, and as fireworks burst above the Danish skyline, Spain watches with pride. Their princess, their future queen, has just broken royal tradition, and in doing so, she's breathed new life into it. Because sometimes, to honor history, you have to rewrite it. And tonight, Princess Leonor did exactly that.